Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to another edition of the TNA Review, brought to you by UnifiedWrestling.com and 123wrestling.co.uk. As always, from a long hiatus, I'm your host, Caesar Scorpio, at the Caesar Scorpio on Twitter account. Follow me if you like. Anyway, apologize here for the inconvenience of not doing these review shows on a weekly basis these previous weeks. Life's been a little hectic, a little crazy, but I'm back. Remember that TNA will be having their shows on the 31st at 5 p.m. Pacific time, and I, Caesar Scorpio, will be having the review show following Impact Wrestling from this point on Thursdays, alright? So hold tight, relax, and let's go over the action that happened this past Thursday, May 3rd, 2012 on Impact Wrestling. Let's get started here from the action from the top. First thing is, we had a recap of the situation that happened with Eric Bischoff. Now, this is something that I feel was a little bit unnecessary. Eric Bischoff's situation with the old porta potty thing. If you're anything like me, you like to do a little snacking, maybe watching a little wrestling with a little dinner, possibly. That was kind of, pardon the pun here, flushed down the toilet when we saw this guy tip over on a porta potty and the guy gagging all over the place. It was just disgusting. Unnecessary, but TNA did us the pleasure of showing it a second time on this week's Impact Wrestling. TNA, no, please don't do that again. After that happened, we actually had a situation where Ric Flair comes out and mentions the whole dilemma, what happened here with Eric Bischoff, how unfortunate that was, and how that was bad for the company, how disrespectful that was to Eric Bischoff, a man with that kind of stature in the wrestling company business, and the way he was treated. Hulk Hogan then comes out and tries to iron out the situation, stating, Flair, come on, buddy. That had to be done. I am now the head honcho at Impact Wrestling, and I felt it was something that needed to be done. Now, that being said, he then follows up with asking Ric Flair for some assistance. Flair, I need your help. Flair's like, no. Hogan, I don't want this. I don't care for this. I'm done with this. I'm a selfish guy. You know I'm a bad guy. You're a good guy. I'm going to make you suffer. Hogan finally appeals to his better judgment and says, look, I need you to help develop talent. You're, you are what you are, two-time Hall of Famer, and we need you in this end, buddy. We need you to step it up to the plate for Impact Wrestling. Ric Flair finally comes to his senses and says, fine, for the kids, for the young ones, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And he accepts the judging of Mr. Alex Silva later on in the show, which is a little segment that we'll go over as well. After that, we had Madison Rayne and Gail Kim tag teaming versus Velvet Sky and Miss Chessmacher for a little knockout action. Now, this actually ended up being an entertaining match when Miss Chessmacher, for the third time, ends up defeating Gail Kim. Now, she does it this time by applying the Eat Defeat, Gail Kim's own finisher, on Gail Kim. So, alright. One time, it's cute. Two times, maybe luck. Three times, it's not a coincidence, people. She seems to have Gail Kim's number. Now, unfortunate here for Gail Kim, but the fact of the matter is, you got the number, you got the number. So Gail Kim finally needs to end this, just so it happens is a win after a win after a win. Give this girl a title shot and continue here from there. So that's what's been going on here with Gail Kim and Miss Chessmacher. We'll move on here later on in the show. After that, we had RVD coming out stating, I am RVD. I am the whole effing show. And basically stating why the major reasons why he's the number one contender and why he needs to be the one that defeats Bobby Roode at the pay-per-view here. Slammiversary. Great. That's all good and fine and dandy until Bobby Roode comes out and states that, look, buddy, we know you've had your head in the clouds 99.9% of the time, and you have been on a longer hiatus than Caesar Scorpio himself. But I am the champ. I am your champion. And this is the way it's going to go down. So this is actually a situation where both men get to choose the other man's opponent for that edition of Impact. The choice here for RVD, for my boy Bobby Roode, was Mr. Anderson. Nice choice. The choice for Bobby Roode was Jeff Hardy for RVD. Better choice. So that was a nice little treat we got to experience on this edition of Impact. After that, we had the weekly TNA TV Championship match. Now, poor Devon, he's got to defend this every week, all right, as per the contract. Good thing for him is that he never has to defend it here on a house show, seems to be. So it's got to be always on Impact Wrestling, never on a house show. He's guaranteed to get TV time at least, right? All right, Devon, no explosion, you're back in the U.S. Hey! All right. After that, we had Robbie T competing here for this TV championship. Not by Robbie E. He was accompanied by Robbie E. wearing a nice little vest thing going on. Wasn't feeling that all too much, but whatever, he was wearing it. And at the beginning, this was kind of an entertaining match, but Devon ends up being too much here. By DQ, he wins the match when Robbie E hits the clipboard, the one that says, yeah, the A-listers there, when they come through the ribbon. Yeah, that same clipboard upside Devon's face, shatters a million pieces and is DQ'd. So, looks like it's not over yet for Robbie E. Even though Robbie T was robbed of this championship, Robbie E looks like he's got his own intentions in mind here when it comes to this Devon situation. So, don't expect it by any means to be over between Devon and Robbie E. The TV championship is Robbie E's. He wants it back. And Devon's quite not ready to give it back. So we'll see what ends up happening with that in weeks to come. Expect more drama from that. After that, we had Ric Flair, Al Snow, and Bruce Pritchard talking on Alex Silva. Flair is basically stating that he's not convinced. They're trying to pitch Silva to Flair. Pritchard and Snow are both in there saying, you know what, there's positives. We see this guy has a chance. Even though he didn't do too good last week, we think he's what the X Division needs. And again, Ric Flair's not sold on it, so we'll revisit that later. After that, we had the RVD versus Jeff Hardy match. Now, this match ends when Bobby Roode assists and RVD gets the W. Now, he hits Jeff Hardy with the belt, attempting to actually hit RVD. When the old switcheroo comes up, he hits Jeff Hardy and RVD gets the W. Not too happy with that is Bobby Roode, but it happened. He assisted him in the victory. Again, RVD didn't know it happened, so he thinks he beat him by himself. It does great for the self-esteem, but whatever. The fans know better, right? All right. After that, we had Joseph Parks and Bully Ray segment. Joseph Parks stating, "Where's my brother? Where's my brother?" And again, Bully Ray stating, "You know what, Parks? Get out of my face, or you'll disappear like your brother did." Still with this Joseph Parks situation, where it's going to go, where it's going to end. Your guess is as good as mine, people. We'll see. All right. After that, we had the situation here where Jeremy Borash is getting everything off of his chest when it came to Eric Bischoff, from the old Facebook situation to the week after week insults that he was getting here from Eric Bischoff. That comes to an end here where he's finally venting, but Bully Ray comes in to stand in for his boy Eric Bischoff, stating, "What are you going to say? I'm interested in hearing what you have to say about Eric Bischoff. Go ahead, finish what you were saying." Ends up taking the poor guy to the ring, where he a little bit of the more of that stuff. Come on, go ahead. What you got to say? What you got to say? Finally, we have Austin Aries come out and stand up to Bully Ray, but he gets a little bit of the same also, stating that he's X Division, he's part of the small man's class. Hey, I'm 5'7". I qualify for the X Division. Bully Ray, come on. Lay off the short guys, please. Anyway, the situation comes to a head when AA's heard enough. He goes off on Bully Ray. Security has to pull him back. Bully Ray ends up getting a low blow on him because, again, they grab the small guy and totally leave the big guy to do whatever he liked. He gets a low blow, but then that stops. So expect some more drama here from Bully Ray and Austin Aries. That's always a good show. Austin Aries never disappoints when it comes to that. After that, we had the Kurt Angle, Christopher Daniels, and Kazarian Tag Team Action 6-Man versus AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Magnus, the Tag Team Champions. This match ends when the Styles Clash is applied. Kurt Angle drama, because Kurt Angle actually had the ankle locked on him when Kazarian decides to tag in from the outside. Drama unfolds. Two guys fly out, Kurt Angle and Christopher Daniels, and Kazarian's there to get the actual Styles Clash done on him, and the match is over. So, more drama here for the heavies. Things going good so far here for the faces. Good match, very entertaining match, but a little bit too short for my taste, especially when it comes to AJ Styles, the X Division guys, Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, and I mean the tag team champs. I mean, good outside maneuvers, good high risk here from Samoa Joe, but wish could have seen a little bit more out of the ring. There was supposed to be a move they were supposed to execute. AJ Styles was, but that was put to halt when the ankle lock was applied by Kurt Angle. Shame on you, Kurt Angle. You should have let that happen first before you applied that ankle lock, but whatever. Hopefully next week we see a little bit more of that. After that, we finally had the Judgment Day for Alex Silva. We had Al Snow, Ric Flair, and Bruce Pritchard calling out Alex Silva and finally deciding, after giving a little speech he gave on the mic about, oh, Dad, this is for you. And, you know, I think Scorpio is better with the mic. Let me just show you. Flair, this is why I need to be a wrestler in TNA. I'll bring it every day and every night. Never hold back. This is what I promise to you. This is what I promise to the people. And this is what I promise to Al Snow and Pritchard. Bring it. Scorpio. Out. See, I can drop bombs too. It ain't just CM Punk. What? What, son? Anyway. Again, it wasn't too sold on Silva's performance, but whatever. Hopefully more things to come from Silva. Time to impress, buddy. You're on the TNA roster now. They voted you in. Time to impress. See what you got. All right. After that, we finally had the main event. Mr. Anderson versus Bobby Roode in the no DQ match that was scheduled earlier. This match finally comes to an end when Jeff Hardy comes to assist Mr. Anderson, but Mr. Anderson is too stupid to realize that he was assisted by Jeff Hardy and decides to do the mic check on the person that just helped him. While he's picking up the pieces trying to revive Mr. Hardy, here comes Bobby Roode hitting his old move and getting the actual W. So, there we go. Bobby Roode consistently getting W's. Alright, whether it's a shady or it's clean. Never clean with Mr. Anderson, excuse me, Mr. Roode, but whatever, he gets the W's. He's still the champ. He's still your champ. Alright, so is it going to continue here at Slammiversary? Again, it's going to be him and RVD. We'll have these actual predictions in next week's edition of the TNA review. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. I enjoyed giving it. Hopefully you enjoyed hearing it. And again, sorry for the inconvenience of getting it a day late. Next week, it'll be on time. Thursday, from myself, Caesar Scorpio. Thank you very much for watching. Also, for you people that are in the West Coast, myself and Invincible E. Vincent will be at TNA House Show live event Saturday, Cinco de Mayo. Alright, and we will be in Bakersfield for that event. If you see us, say hi. We'd love to see the fans. We're fans as well. Like to meet everybody. If you see us, please don't be shy. If you recognize myself or Invincible E. Vincent, please say hello. Alright, anyway, for myself, Caesar Scorpio, thank you very much for watching. See you all next week.